I spoke to Shiro Armstrong, the eminent trade expert from ANU, just a moment ago, and I asked him about the risk of contagion and this spiralling. Are you worried that a spiral in reciprocal tariffs leads to more than just economic retaliation? Is that your fear?
Look, well, first, what I'd say is, this is a poor decision for the US consumer, because what it will mean is that goods from other countries will be more expensive for Americans, which is why we are not going to put in place retaliatory tariffs. But your point and Shiro's point is an important one. One of the reasons we have supported fair and free trade, more open trading arrangements, predictable trading arrangements, is because we think it enables stability. We also know, as a trading nation, that we are benefited by, in terms of jobs, wages, profits, because we are a trading nation. So we think this is a poor decision, but it's one that is widely anticipated. It's one that we anticipated was coming, and as you can see, no country had a better outcome than Australia. We would have preferred no tariffs at all. That would have been consistent both with our friendship, but also our trading relationship.
Peter Dutton says there's a pathway to resolving this if there's the leadership and the will to do it. He pointed to the critical minerals component of our relationship. Do you agree with him that there is a pathway to try and secure exemptions?
Well, I have to say, Peter Dutton seems to think he's Superman, but he's actually Captain Obvious. He suggests that this is a time for negotiation. Well, that is what we have been doing. He suggests we should be discussing critical minerals. I'm sure he would recall, it's been quite public, that is what we have been doing, and we'll proceed, as the Prime Minister indicated in his press conference today, with creating a strategic reserve, and we'll have more to say about that. But really what we saw from Mr Dutton today is more reckless arrogance. We saw him today talking down Australia. We saw him again recklessly carping at a time when Australians need us to stand together, stand up for Australia. But he can't bring himself to do it. And the same recklessness that saw him making a joke about our submarines, a critical defence capability, just yesterday.
He said that was just a light-hearted gag with a comedian, that he's actually talked up the capability in that regard. But in terms of the diplomatic response to the United States, is the Prime Minister vulnerable that he hasn't done enough, to the question that he hasn't done enough because of the inability to get the President back on the phone?
I think anybody watching President Trump's press conference today, or anyone who's actually looked at what the President has said both before he was elected and after, would know that tariffs are a central part, central to his economic and his political agenda. He's made that clear, and we saw that today. No country has a better outcome than Australia. Really, I know that Mr Dutton always wants to be negative, carping, always wants to play a bit of domestic politics instead of standing up for the country. This is a time where the country should be united. This is a time where all of us can say with one voice, we think this is the wrong thing to do. This is no way to treat Australia, given our friendship, given our relationship, and given that we have allow US goods into Australia without tariff-free. So it would be much better for Mr Dutton and for the country if he could stop his relentless carping and just stand up for Australia.
Yeah, can I finish where we began the conversation? It's on the alliance, because I know that you spoke about the history, the depth of it and so on, but I ask you in a different way, are you worried about the goodwill towards the United States that average Australians have and will retain, or maybe not retain, off the back of this act, which, as you've said, and the Prime Minister said, and in fact Mr Dutton said, is not the act of a friend?
Look, what I'd say to Australians is, look, this is a time of great change and a time of uncertainty, but we are able to navigate this together. We can do that by managing sensibly our relationship with the United States, recognising there are things on which we have very different views, and tariffs is one of them. but we also have a very long-standing strategic relationship which matters to us. We are also diversifying our relationships. We are also working to invest in our relationships in our region. You've seen that over the 3 years of the Albanese government. You've seen the way in which we have looked to our region. We've worked much more closely with the countries of Southeast Asia, with the countries of North Asia and with the Pacific. These relationships all matter. They matter to us in terms of our stability and they matter to us economically.
Foreign Minister Penny Wong, thanks for your time.
Good to be with you.